4, 7, 13, 20, 26. Do you know what all of these numbers have in common? They're all the ages of various fashion trends throughout history that have reappeared multiple times. Yep, some styles just never die. And today we be taking a look at some of those trends that keep coming back. We'll start with ancient styles that reappear like Roman sandals and Greek draping. You might think this is because the ancient styles are inherently timeless, but I prefer to think it's because Hollywood has a thing for filming period pieces. But when trends come back that aren't from the Regency era, that's usually not the case. Like how the 1920s flapper dress came back in the 2020s, or how the 70s bell-bottom made a comeback in the 90s, only to re-emerge again in the 2020s as wide-leg pants. So why do certain trends stick around? A part of it may be due to cultural reasons. For example, bell-bottoms emerged in the 70s, at a time when there was a lot of experimentation going on with gender roles. This was a decade where both men and women rejected traditional fashions in favor of more comfortable, gender-neutral styles. This cultural shift is what allowed something like the bell-bottom to emerge in the first place. And each time it comes back, it reflects the current cultural mood. For example, in the 90s, the grunge movement rejected everything the 80s stood for, including its fashion. So naturally, the decade that followed brought about a revival of all things 70s, including bell-bottoms. And when they came back again in the 2020s, they were often paired with chunky sneakers, a nod to the decade's obsession with all things maximalist. But if you ask me, there is no better explanation for fashion-esque recycling of trends than Sigmund Freud's theory of infantile amnesia. Freud believed that our early childhood experiences shape our personalities, and that we repress most of our childhood memories because they are simply too painful to remember. In short, Freud basically said we're all a product of our upbringings. And if we're all a product of our upbringings, then so is fashion. The reason why the 90s brought about a grunge revival in the first place was because it was the decade where millennials were born. Which means the fashion of the 90s reflected the tastes of an entirely new generation. And because millennials have been so influential in shaping modern culture, the fashion of the 70s and 80s has seen a huge resurgence in recent years. Plus, the fact that millennials and Gen Zers spend most of their lives online means that exposure to past trends is easier than ever. Take TikTok, for example. Quick scroll through the For You page and you'll likely see at least one video of someone dancing in a 70s-inspired outfit or lip-syncing along to an 80s power ballad. Not to mention the rise of fast fashion retailers like Shein, who are making it easier than ever to get your hands on the latest trends at a moment's notice. So is there any way to escape this cycle? Unfortunately, probably not. Even as we speak, Gen Zers are falling in love with 90s grunge all over again. And once they have kids of their own, they'll pass it on to them, and the cycle will continue on and on and on. So here as to, hoping that whatever decade inspires next will be a little more stylish than the 80s. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, and you can find me on social media. Hello everyone, it's me. Welcome to my channel, and today we're talking about fashion trends that keep coming back throughout history. I think it's safe to say that fashion is cyclical. Some may even say it's boring because of this. But today, I'm going to go over some of the fashion trends that have reappeared over the decades, and there are a lot. So let's get started. Ancient times in the 1920s. First off, we have to start with the classics. Styles from ancient Greece and Rome are very popular now. We see this in the form of Roman sandals, Greek draped gowns, and even laurel wreaths. These styles were also popular in the 1920s. You can see it in their flapper dresses, and even accessories like the headband. In the 1920s, flapper dresses were very popular. They were loose and flowy, kind of like a Greek goddess. Their empire waistline was another aspect that made them look like they were straight out of an ancient painting. The 2020s brought back the fringe, which was also seen on many garments in the 1920s. This includes dresses, ponchos, and jackets. There was also a bob and a finger wave craze in the 1920s, which returned in the 2020s. The 1920s and 1930s saw the rise of the Hollywood starlet. Women wanted to be just like them. So when the 2020s came around and the Hollywood glamour was rekindled, it only made sense that these styles would come back as well. The beaded flapper dresses, the faux fur stoles, headbands, and long pearl necklaces were all seen on celebrities like Zendaya and Hunter Schafer. It's the 1970s. The 1970s was a very interesting time for fashion. Bell-bottoms were huge, as well as jumpsuits and halter-neck dresses. Hippies were everywhere. Platform shoes and peasant blouses were also huge in the 1970s. These trends then reappeared in the 1990s, but in a more grunge fashion. Think ripped-up t-shirts and paired with Doc Martens instead of Birkenstocks. The flared jeans and high-waisted pants were still very popular in the 90s. Platforms also made a comeback in the 90s. Although they were nowhere near as chunky as they were in the 70s, the 90s platforms were still pretty tall. In the 2020s, we saw bell-bottoms return in full force. With designers like Balenciaga and Gucci bringing them back, wide-leg pants and even flared denim became popular again. The 90s influence is still very present in the 2020s, so this isn't too surprising. Halter dresses, which were very popular in the 70s, turned in the 2010s and 2011. Celebrities like the Kardashians and Beyoncé are known for wearing bodycon dresses with a high leg slit and a high back, a modern take on the 70s halter-neck dress, the 1980s. The 1980s is a decade that will forever be linked to excess. Think big hair, bright colors, and power suits. The 1980s had its own unique style that hasn't really been replicated since then. Although the 80s never went away completely, its popularity has definitely increased in the last few years. Neon has made a strong comeback, especially in Gen Z fashion. People now wear it in the form of crop tops, tracksuits, and even bags. Bright pinks, greens, and yellows are everywhere. Another trend from the 80s is the power suit. This includes shoulder pads and wide-legged pants. In recent years, we've seen many celebrities like Zendaya and Hunter Schafer wear these types of suits on red carpets. Big hair and crimped styles are also very on trend right now. Many TikTok tutorials exist on how to crimp your hair at home. The 1990s. The 1990s was a very experimental time for fashion. This included slip dresses, oversized blazers, and mom jeans. In the 90s, you could basically throw anything on, and it would look fashionable. Grunge was also very popular. This included flannels and ripped jeans. The 90s also introduced us to minimalist style. Think black turtlenecks and tailored pieces. Thanks to shows like Seinfeld and Friends, the 90s was a great time for fashion. Today, the 90s is still one of the most referenced decades in fashion. Mom jeans are everywhere, and many celebrities like Kendall Jenner and Hailey Bieber have been photographed in them. Oversized blazers and power suits are also huge now. Think less is more when it comes to 90s fashion. A simple black slip dress is all you need for a night out. Another 90s trend that never went away is minimalism. Think clean lines and simple silhouettes. If you're not sure what to wear, just throw on a black turtleneck and a pair of black jeans, and you'll look effortlessly chic. The 2000s, the early 2000s, is a decade that will forever be linked to pop princesses, like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Low-rise jeans and crop tops were a staple of their music videos. The 2000s also gave us iconic looks like trucker hats, bandanas, and cargo pants. The early 2000s were all about showing midriff. Celebrities like Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan were known for their low-rise jeans and midriff-bearing tops. Today we're seeing a lot of Y2K-inspired fashion. This includes crop tops and low-rise jeans. Although I don't recommend going too low, trust me, your back will thank you later. Baby tees are also having a moment right now. Celebrities like Bella Hadid and Dua Lipa have been photographed in them. Another trend from the 2000s that is making a comeback is the bandana. It can be worn as a headband or tied onto a bag. Another 2000s fashion trend that I personally am so happy to see come back is chunky sneakers. Not only are they comfortable, but they also go with everything. So why does this happen? Why do certain fashion trends keep coming back? Trends evolve over time and reappear in different ways. Fashion trends are often a reflection of the cultural and historical context in which they emerge. Certain trends may disappear for a while before reappearing in a new and different way. This can be due to a number of factors such as evolving cultural norms, technological advancements, and changing aesthetics. For example, bell-bottoms were popular in the 1970s, disappeared for a while before returning in the 2020s. This could be due to a desire for comfort and practicality, as well as a growing interest in sustainable and eco-friendly fashion. Fast fashion and social media play a major role in this recycling of trends. Fast fashion retailers are able to quickly produce and distribute trendy items at a low cost, making it easier for consumers to experiment with different styles. Social media platforms allow people to share their personal style and connect with others who have similar interests in fashion. This can help to revive and popularize older trends. What are your thoughts on fashion trends that keep coming back? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fashion history. I'll see you next time.